I'm your host Gavin, and welcome to the next episode of Open Window Hidden Record, where I keep it transparent. It's where I travel to different local shops looking for cheap hidden records, buying them, and then reviewing them. Our journey begins in Lynchburg, Virginia. Down by the river and train tracks, around the area, there are some bugs lurking, a nice little outdoor movie theater screen, and one lovely brick building that holds exactly what we're looking for. At the bottom of this brick building holds something really special. It's the record store, Riverview Vinyl. It is the place to go for both new and used records in Lynchburg. Selling vinyls that have been clean and graded, this awesome shop is a great place for music lovers and vintage collectors alike. Riverview Vinyl also sells a variety of turntables, receivers, speakers, and other types of audio equipment. Throughout the store, there are very well organized and labeled wooden shelves with different categories. And by the front of the store, there is a chest with a bunch of Rescue Me records. On one side of the store, there is a very large selection of jazz, holding artists such as Herbie Hancock and many others. With a lot of records to go through, I started my search. Looking through some rock, jazz, hip-hop, and others, I ended up in the funk and soul section, and came across some great cover art. But a nice deep red background, silhouette, and a painted mask, I found the record I was looking for. Thankfully, when I picked up the record, I checked all sides to make sure it was in pretty good condition, and since the store grades and cleans the records, I felt like I was in good hands. So let's go on and check it out. The record was released in 1977, under the label Warner Bros. Records. The name of the album is Heartaches by Brian Auger's OblivionExpress. The main genres are jazz fusion, jazz funk, and jazz rock, in the style of jazz rock, rhythm and blues, jazz funk, and funk. So, quite a few categories. This beautiful record is something else. The great painted face, or mask, on the front was painted by Massimo Natale at the age of 5 years old, according to the Discogs credit list. On the back of the record are photos of all the band members, and their each individual music instruments, including the list of all 7 songs off of the album. The inside of the record sleeve is a pretty cool one. There is an advertisement for Warner Reprise Lost Records, which are full studio double albums, in quote, deluxe packaging. And the double albums are only $2. Oh my god. And on the other side of the sleeve is a photo that was taken Saturday, September 23rd, 1911, in Burbank, California for some reason. Not quite sure why it's there, but if you know, leave a comment. And of course, the record is a standard black vinyl print. But let's get the record spinning and straight to the review. In this album, Happiness and Heartaches, it is absolutely beautiful. The vocal layering and synths used throughout the entire album are fantastic. The instrumentals are unique, fun, and different. The overall instrumentation and unique vocals are just so impressive because of when the album came out. In the song specifically, and which is the title song, Happiness and Heartaches, they really focus on that vocal layering and synths that are used throughout the entire album, especially the entrance at the beginning of the hook, which is just so absolutely beautiful every time I listen to it. What even progresses the song further, not only its percussion, but its bass line. In this song, the bass is just fantastic. It's not too distracting, but it carries through the entire song beautifully.
Loving you something that brings me pain. It's
The sound of the bass that's used in this album is probably one of my favorite sounds for a bass guitar. The bass sound that is used is very similar to another artist called Mild Life, and specifically used in their song Citation. Overall, instrumentally, this album is insane. The fusion of all the styles that are used are groovy and funky, which perfectly blend, and while listening to this album, I couldn't help but dance and get all groovy and feel funky listening to it. One of my favorite songs off the album is Spice Island. It wasn't only the instrumentation that's used in this song that's super unique, it's also its vocal timing and how it's used within the tempo of its percussion.
Moonfall through a crystal dawn. New day is born. Ooh, hot winds are blow. Landfall.
Throughout the album, there was a bunch of different kinds of percussion, such as bongos, normal drums, but there's a lot of different kinds of cymbals and bells that are also used. Even with 7 songs throughout this album, it is pretty long. The longest song off of the album, which is actually Spice Island, is 8 minutes and 54 seconds. Walking into that record store for the first time, it was a fantastic experience. And being able to go through all those records and finding something like this is what makes this experience my favorite thing in the world. Being able to find a absolutely fantastic record like this with no knowledge of the artist and even how many songs that are on there, which leads to the rating of the album, which I'm going to give the first ever amazing. This album is not perfect in any means, but for it to be how fantastic its instrumentation is, its vocals, the cover art is super unique and fun. Its color and gradation is interesting. To be able to find a record this good with no knowledge or recognition of it, it makes this album just that much more. And so throughout a lot of people's lives, they find happiness and heartache in a lot of things. And so especially when it comes to finding records, you may find the happiness that you want, like in this record, or you might find the heartache in getting a record that you may not quite like, but you get to discover something new and find out more about yourself and your taste in music and possibly finding what somebody else might like. So this is my last episode for the time being, for that being that holiday season is coming up. So I'll be taking a break for a while. So OWHR isn't gone forever, but it will be on a slight break. I appreciate you all tuning in and being interested in coming with me on this journey to find hidden records. I just really appreciate you all being here and listening to me talk about music that I love and enjoy and get to discover. But I just want to say thank you again, and I hope to see you next time. I've been your host, Gavin, keeping it transparent. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, like and share.